Yo, I know I've been gone for 2 months, crazy right? But you know, I got reawakened after Hudzel decided to release 1.5 for Parkour Reborn. So why don't we make a video on that and return? First of all, you could see that some parts of the map have been changed, such as this. Grass wasn't usually like this, didn't have this cross pattern, it was more of just solid. You can also see changes such as flowers being added here, small changes. Now, this used to be the first original spawn. You can now enter into it and climb down. You'll find the first magnetic coil piece here, but you'll see that later in the video. Anyways, once you enter, you have a pretty nice interior. You got this, you can go through the walkway right here. And then, this is where the remnant tower is. In different parts of it. Like down here, there's a TV. You can also escape from here. It's pretty neat. And if we just take a left right here, you'll see another door. This door leads much deeper into the building and also has an exit where you end the tutorial for the actual game. So that was interior number 1. Now for interior number 2, you just have to make it past the crystal time trial, past this point, and you will eventually see it somewhere here. Now, if you do come over here, you could see that in this fenced off area, you'll be able to see this glass area. So you can go through the vent here, but there's a door right here. This door, you could see there's some valuables put here, ladders so it could go up. Just the basic stuff in a interior that this game always has. Now you can go downstairs, and downstairs you'll see there's a hallway. In this hallway you could see that it's the glass panels from where we entered from. Now past this door you'll see a vent. Just go climb up the vent, and boom, we're in this interior. Now there's another vent here. This is literally just a vent that we could have entered through, but now we have this ladder. You climb this ladder up and boom, you're gonna be coming to the place where Mikey is standing. So that's another interior. So interior number 2. Now for this third interior, well, I can't really say if it's an interior, but it's where the gym is. So you can see how they've added a sign, 2 windows, maybe change some things up in the interior. I don't really come here too often, so I don't know what changes, what doesn't change here. But you can see, if you come here, you can see slight changes. So there, you could see how they have the sign there. Just some small subtle changes here. So that's interior number 3. Okay, so interior number 4 is right here. It's not really an interior, but we'll call it interior. So this construction area was upgraded a bit. You can see how they've changed a lot of things here. They've added more trash. They've added, they made it look more like a construction site. And so I'll just be going through interior number 5 as well, which is actually pretty nearby. You can't really say that it's a new interior. They just changed some things up. You could see they have trees here, just some new stuff. So you come down here, you remember this room. This room now has this extra scaffolding here, just add some taste to it, not keep it empty. I said so many times, bro. You come here to the warehouse view. I'm sure you're very familiar with it. They actually changed up some stuff. What the hell? Oh, I got stuck. That is so nice. They changed up some stuff here that I got stuck. That is crazy. Okay, you just come here, just break the glass. You'll see they added this section, which originally was not here. They probably did add some stuff in here that I'm just not aware of. No, seems like they left this part the same, But, you know, just a little cool thing I wanted to say, like, you know, small little interior design change. BTP to the box stop checkpoint, you can see they changed up some stuff here, you know. The crane area used to be completely empty here. Well, not completely empty, but it didn't have any props, it didn't have any, like, construction related stuff. You know, now it's a bit packed up, looks more, you know, natural. They even added this wall, which we didn't know. This wall, you can just infinitely climb it as long as it's there. You know, you can see, had a nice clean interior to it, you know, make it look a bit more packed up, because before it was just empty, like nothing was there. It was complete emptiness. I'm sure we're very familiar with this area. It's right next to the dropper challenge. If you just come here, you can now see that this place has a fence. But that's not only it. So you can see that this point right here, if you enter here, Montra's hideout. If you enter Montra's hideout, you can see that there is a slight change, or some slight changes that you like, that are pretty cool. You can see how they changed up the zip line, how it's held up. You can just come here, climb this up, climb this building up as well, and then just, you know, wall climb booster, just wall climb. You can see if you just come down here and here, you know, there's some slight like additives, and you can find the Montra NPC here. It talks about Skyart. Right here you'll see there's a pad and stuff, and then from here you'll just see a vent. So open the vent, see the vent leads all the way down here, and boom. And you'll see the graphics logo right here. We also have the dropper challenge, which you can see it's no longer here in the corner, but instead if you just come to this tower right here and open this door, you'll see that there's an interior in here now. You'll see dropper challenges right here. This door again just leads outside. Now if you just come down here, I'm sure there's another door that just leads, yep, into another interior. It's all just constructed for the dropper challenge itself. You can see how it changes, how like you need to climb up some stuff, you know, just adding that clap. It's adding more like flavor to the challenges, and then boom, just ends off right here. So this is another cool interior they added that probably takes a while for people to realize. Guys, another exterior that was built right here, where the little drone thing is, from Vertigo from downtown to Fragment. Yeah, this is a really cool spot. It used to be, I think, empty or just like a single platform, and then yeah, this is their actually. Greatest, another interior. If you've been to PRK Industries, you can see that now there is an interior, much more detailed, and it goes upwards instead of just being emptiness. So really, if you just like climb this, you'll be able to get one of the gears for the launch rail. If I'm wrong, launch rail 1 or launch rail, either one. But this one, I really like it. It's actually pretty good. I like how there's an elevator that leads up to the very top. You can see it has little parkour. It's like those little obbies, Tower of Hell and stuff like that. You can climb up. Like, It's like kind of a puzzle trying to climb it up. Like for this part, I thought I was only supposed to do it, but no, I have to vault and then climb up. But I suck, so there you go. And yeah, you just climb up. Once you make it to the top, there is an exit. Which, oh my god, I just fell. Which, not gonna lie, the exit, I mean, like, it's a little vent, but like, you know, got this really nice view. You can go up the building. I don't know if you can get to the top. Probably can, if you're like really pro. But you got this nice view of Derwick. So if you TP to the workshop garage checkpoint, you can see there are some slight changes here in Derwick. You can see how they added crates up there. You know, added a bit of like exterior to this. If you climb this up, actually, there's a giant change here. So at first you can see that there's no longer just a random gap. There are 2 valuables here, so if you ever do any challenges, it's pretty useful. Once you enter this building, you know, you go through the interior like any other building does. Oh wow, this actually goes pretty down deep. So you can just go down. There's a red door, another one. Boom, you'll have this exterior. You can get this view. So this is just one of the parts in the entire building. This isn't the entire building itself, there's more. If you climb this up right here, you'll see there's some chairs. Here's another exterior. And right here, it used to just be a simple wall, you know, with a few like vents, you know, and like extrusions. So they completely changed this up too. You can see as an interior as well, just like the last building. Has a vent right here. You know, you can just travel around much more easier here. It's a nice interior, nice clean, you know, you can't really say simplistic, but more of like modern type of interior. Yep, there's a view right here to lead you up. And there is, yeah. And then past this point, there's an empty elevator, nothing cool, nothing special here. The exterior, although it is pretty... Okay, the exterior here, you can see there's some changes to it, you know, it's much easier. This building in front of us was packed closer, so players had they didn't struggle as much to get to it. Just like how the first time I played trying to get a grappler housing piece is impossible. You know, they just added some other stuff, you know, exterior, detailed exterior. I didn't see this one. Another exterior right here. You know, it's pretty empty, but still counts as something. This is not the only place that I got an exterior. So, let's move on to the next place. As part of adding to the other interiors, there's actually a new one near the Celsius time trial right here, the building that you start off on. Once you open the door, you can see that's some construction props, you know, empty. They're probably gonna fill this in with like a lounge or something. It has a little exit, but it's pretty cool to have another interior in Derwick, especially under time trial. You TP to the grass patch area, you can see there's a new building right here. So this building, Derwick, you know, it's pretty nice. Although it would have been nicer if, you know, they expanded it. But you know, this is a pretty good update. If you didn't know what this building was beforehand, there was no building here actually. In the previous update, there was just a floating XP router that you could not get, and so this is the floating XP router that you just couldn't get. You can see factory still there. You know, you can get to it if you want to. But I doubt there's any there's like no changes to it basically. Let's also not forget that they did add more detail to the exteriors here near the workshop spawn point. You can see how they have ads, they have like, you know, the little fans, the windows, the lights, they got everything. I mean, of course, like just like last time when I was showing the interior, you can see how like they added a bit more detail here, a lot more detail down here. You can see they added hedges, you know, as if like it's like a market or something, or like a plaza. That type of like, it's not, you know, to a level of detail that's crazy, but it's got quite a lot of detail. You also got chimpanzee graffiti here, you know, just add a bit more detail here. Looks actually really nice. This would be a really cool wallpaper for PC. If they added like weather effects like rain, this would be really nice. Alright, so this next exterior or interior, you can kind of say, is in Derwick construction. As we can see, it changed quite a bit actually. So we have this interior, which you can find another pulse generator right here. You'll see in the later in the video again. So, you know, it has some things changed up. They added some valuables, you know, phones, jewelry, you know, just collect. It's pretty good for farming, has quite the amount of valuables and trash. Yeah, they changed this part up a lot. It's very nice, very clean. And you can also see, okay, so you can see how here they added more stuff, you know, another interior designs, you know what I'm saying. They kind of buffed it up a bit, you know, added some parts that I probably missed actually, because I do not play this game too much. You can also see how like up there they changed a lot of stuff. They added these little platforms, so it's pretty nice. It's pretty clean. They did a nice job on this update. Probably like the only update that I like so far. And you know, it's pretty clean. Let's see. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. Alright, you could see here how, like, you know, they added another crane. That is crazy. Again, valuables. Oh, this is that one part where you do, I think, neon. Yeah, this is Derwick construction, changed a lot. But yeah, I definitely do not remember this crane being here. Let's see if there's anything up there. Yeah, I think this has been here. I'm just dumb and never saw it. Yeah, wait, hold on. Let's see what's here. No, actually, I don't think this has been here. Oh, damn. That was very sad. Oh my god! What just happened? I think they buffed grapple dashing a bit too much. Micro pulse driver. Oh, I just found the micro pulse driver, so if anyone wants that, it's right there. There's so much I'm finding. Oh, I should have just went there. Damn, bro. Here's another interior. It's in Fragment, right in front of Zephyr Tower. You can see how this building here has an interior. Let me just get this XP router. This isn't really the interior right here. If I just come out from here and look through, you can see there's an interior right there. So if I just come here, not too many people noticed it is the problem. So yeah, we have this building right in front of Zephyr with the interior. And a door that leads to some sort of place like the back rooms. Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. You can see none of the elevators work here, but it's like a lounge area to chill out in. And if you want, you can just head to the first building nearest to Zephyr Tower. While I was recording the route to rail trigger, I came across this one interior in Fragment. It's literally like under that bridge, in the middle of Fragment's central fragment. So I mean, it's pretty cool. It has a little radio playing music. You know, you can sit down. You know, I mean, it's a nice chill spot. But like, you know, just wanted to show it. Alright, so while I was playing, I actually found something. I don't know any other way to get up there other than doing a boing. But if you just swing off of Remnant and do a boing, you might find this little funny Easter egg. Hopefully I can make it up. Yeah, I found this here. Oh, it's by a solar panel. Well, quite interesting. You know what I'm saying? Really funny though. Here are some time trial changes. Neon Bold used to be up here, but now it's down there. You can also see that if I go into the map, it'll say Neon Bold right here. And the route is also different. So, just like in the spectating, we can, you know, spectate Churro Meal and watch him do it. But you can see how it's probably much further, probably about there. Yeah, so they did change it up. It's pretty nice, pretty neat. Another time trial change that we can go to is all the way in downtown. It's the glass time trial. I already got gold on it. Instead of it being back there, they completely moved it to this point of the map. Let me just go to the edge to zoom in. Right there, ends right there in this little triangular area. That was added. We also have Gale right here in the Zephyr Tower. Just like the other ones, Gale is more of like a thing. I'm not gonna actually like try on this, but you can see how it makes it to the entrance of this room from exit to entrance right here. And you can also see how there are different times, although the game is a bit buggy. And there are also lighting changes. I'm sure you could tell that the game is not brighter, isn't as bright as before, which is actually much nicer because I'd get blinded, especially for someone who has time of day at 12. With Parkour Reborn 1.5 being out, we have a lot of changes, including interiors and even characters. Let's start off with the simpler stuff. So first of all, as you can see, your character now has the grappler, very clean model. Same with the glove and the binoculars. Although you can't see your zipline yet, it would have been cool if they could make it like hanging from here. But one thing you could do is when you go to loadout, let's say you don't want to see your grappler whenever you're, I don't know, playing. You just click toggle, you don't see it, but you can still use it, which is actually very nice and is probably very useful during free run. It also, like, the opacity also lowers when you lower your character opacity, which is pretty neat if I do say so myself. So that's so far the gloves. They also made changes to the Vertigo logo. You can see now has the beautiful logo right there. You know, just some very small changes. So let's move on to the interiors. With the smaller stuff, and the smaller things that I can talk to you guys about are that they have added a lot more trees and vegetation to the map, which is actually really nice, and you know, it adds a bit more greenery to the environment. They also added plants here. They also added some other smaller things with UI, or some big things actually, such as spectating. So let's say I want to spectate this dude, I can just click spectate, and boom, I'm watching what he's doing. and you can exit the spectate if you want to.
Yeah, can we relate? Can we relate? Yeah, can we debate? Yeah, I'm with the fake. Yeah, I told the cake. Yeah, all about cake.